Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is second video on migrating your application from Node to Nest. So as we know that in Node we write separate routes and sub routes for accessing our APIs. Okay, so the same thing is structured and provided in a well-defined decorated manner in NestJS, which are called as controllers. Okay, so what are controllers? So controllers are the entry point of our application. They are responsible for handling our incoming request. Other routing mechanism is totally defined in our controller, whether it is the main path or the sub path, or you want to access some dynamic path. So all the actions are performed in a controller. So let's say you want to make a path which is cats. Okay, so you can make a file called as cats controller, or you can make use of CLI, which is inbuilt, that we have recently installed and inbuilt. So we will generate a controller cats. Okay, so as you know that the CLI has generated me two files. One is the test file and another is the cats file. One more thing is like you can generate entire module for cats. So I will generate a module. I will delete this specific file and I will generate the cats module. Oh sir, I will generate entire resources for the cats module. Resource. So it will ask what is the transport layer you want to use. We are making REST based APIs. Would you like to generate CRUD endpoints? So I will tick on yes. So here we have some DTOs entities, but our primary focus will be on the controller part. Okay. So this is how like controller is there for NestJS application. So in our application, our main route is the slash route. Like from localhost, we are just accessing this. So in order to access this, we need to just hit on the cats endpoint. So what I will do, I will go to this route and hit the cats route. I'm getting some error. Oh, I haven't started application yet. So I will start the dev port. In my application it is getting imported twice, so I will run it again. So here I am getting some dependency error. It's like cat service is a provider in the app module, so I have to export this cat service. I will reason out why we are doing this. It's just because of dependency injection. Like the module is injected here and we are importing in the app module, but we will go through those concepts in the service part. But right now let us focus on controllers. So as soon as I click on get cats, I am hitting this API and able to access all the cats. Let's say I want to create a cat out of this. So I will be adding some class, like I will be adding some name which is of string type, and I will also add some breed which is again a string. You can add enum types here. Okay, I will fix this lint issues. Okay, so I have name and breed. I can also add some age. So the incoming request will have name, breed and age. I will just make a post API out of it. I will enter name as Sniffy, some cat breed, sorry, I don't remember any breed name, cat breed, ragdoll, ragdoll, and her age is 2 years. So I will make a, so this action adds a new cat. uh, as we know, for every post request the response is 2 not 1, but for any of the get request it will return all the cats. Okay, so here we have the cats created in the cat service. Okay, you can add a variable and append all the cats, but this is just for the introduction part. You can also add some dynamic id after this, let's say 123, to get a specific cat. So this action will return a cat of 123 type, and we have some patch and delete request, which is like I am updating a cat out of the cat id, and I am deleting a cat out of cat id. So these are the common entry points which are generated by CLI, and you are able to access most of it. Okay, now there are some wildcards which is provided by the asterisk is mark. So let's say I want to get all the cats um, which has this kind of acronym in the endpoint. So what I will do is like I will add E here, A B E C D. So this action removes, oh sorry, I need to go to the get endpoint. This action will return all the cat. So whatever mark I provide in between, it will let me create a dynamic endpoint. But if I remove something like this, it will access the ID endpoint. Okay, so this is how like wildcard works. Like you can add any character in between and access this specific endpoint. Now we have different status code. By default the status code of any get request is 200, but for post request which is 201. But you can update the specific what you can say HTTP status for an endpoint just by providing the HTTP code. So let me try to access that endpoint. So I'm getting 204 request. If I apply the same decorator, I will minimize this. If I apply the same decorator for this I will remove this. Okay, now I will try to access the cats endpoint, so it will return me 204. Okay, so here is I am able to get a specific status code out of this. Now we have headers, as we know that every incoming request has some headers. Okay, so we can apply some cache control strategy by means of these headers. So I will apply cache control as none, and I will return all the cats. So let me go to the endpoint and hit. The response time you are able to see is 11 millisecond, and as soon as I had implement the cache strategy, the response time has decreased by one third of what it was previously. So this is how you can implement the headers. Then we have certain redirection strategies. It's like you can redirect this specific endpoint to some another endpoint. I have redirected it to nestjs.com and return a status code of 301. So let's see what happens. So uh, this is a raw skeleton of our NestJS app, which is nestjs.com. You can run it in the HTML and preview it, so it will look something like this. Okay, this is a raw skeleton, how it looks. Documentation, enterprise resources, your education platform tools. So I have redirected my incoming request to a specific API, or what you can say, to a specific domain. So this is how redirects work. Now I will do is I will pass on a parameter. Okay, let's say I am getting this by ID. So by default it generates a CLI of a param decorator. But what you can do is you can make use of params.id, which we were doing in Node.js. We used to get the params from the request instance and that then get the ID. So I will do something like this action returns 1 2 3. Okay, but if we revisit this specific decorator, the param, you can pass on a token to the decorator which references to the route parameter by the name in the method body, which means it's as soon as you have this ID, you can pass this name here, pass this name here, and instead of params you are directly able to access the ID here. Okay, I will remove this to avoid any misconception. Okay, so we are directly able to access the ID. Let's say this is a kind of some product ID, something like this. So we are able to access the product ID directly and able to return it. Let's say by mistake I have marked this as ID and the decorator has some product ID, so it will return me undefined or none, because I am converting it and then responding to the API. So this will return me none. So you need to make sure that whatever declaration is provided here, it should be passed on the same as in the param, and you are able to access it